3.
Hello everyone, I'm so happy to see you all back this evening. Before we get started, I just wanted to remind you all that this is a safe and respectful sharing environment. When someone is speaking, just please remember not to interject, let them have their time to speak, and then we will get back to you in that time. And also, sharing can cause a lot of anxiety for a lot of people, so it's important to be mindful of that and to refrain from using derogatory comments that might make the other person not feel as comfortable sharing. So I just wanted to remind you guys of that again. I also wanted to let you know that I've seen a lot of progress since the first time that we met, and you guys should all be very proud of that. And I know you guys have a long way to go, but that's okay, that's why you're here. So let's go ahead and get started. So since we met last time, what do you feel is better? Is there anybody that wants to go first? Dwight, you look a little nervous. Do you feel comfortable sharing?
Sure, I think the communication's gotten better. So,
Okay, well what?
between my parents.
Okay. So just between your parents?
My dad as well, I guess.
Well, it's been a little better with Richard and I not fighting in front of the children and trying to communicate a little bit better on finances and his plans for his book and stuff. So that's been an improvement.
Okay, so what you're saying is you're not fighting in front of the children and the communication level is more open.
Yes.
It's not as stressful and strenuous as it was when we first met together.
Yes.
Okay. Richard?
Yeah, I agree with that. And when we do fight, like we said we would, we take it like to a private area, and that like is just between us. And Olive doesn't have to see that. The family doesn't have to see that unfold. So that's what's better, in my opinion.
Well, I'm really proud of you guys for not arguing in front of Olive and coming up with a plan to make that better. So, what about you, Frank? How do you feel about the communication?
I feel we've come a long way. I mean, to think about how Richard and how our relationship was, he makes me feel a little bit more welcome in the home, and that means a lot. I realize that I'm in his home and it is kind of crowded, but it's just here lately, it's been a lot more pleasant and comfortable.
So, Richard, how does that make you feel when Frank says, the communication is better between the two of you?
First of all, I think I agree. Like I said before, I don't necessarily understand him, but I'm kind of learning that like I don't have to understand him to get along with him and to communicate with him. And so I think that it feels good to know that what we're doing is being noticed and the improvements that I'm trying to make are recognized, because I also feel like it's getting better.
All right, well, that's wonderful to hear. Next, I kind of want to ask a scaling question as far as the communication is concerned. On a scale from 1 to 10, where do you feel your communication is at since the last time that we met?
I would say like a 7.
I would say a 6.
I'd say 8.
I would say a good solid 7.
7? Okay. Well, Dwight, I heard that you rated it a 6. Can you tell me a little bit more about why you rated it at that level?
Sure. I think my father's relationship, the relationship that we share, is not as positive as I wish, or as I know it could be. I know that we talked about power and think that we can improve on that. And so that's why I'm rating it as 6, but I'm not happy with where our relationship is and communication that we have together.
Well, what can Richard do to make the relationship better?
I think listen and take into account what I have to say.
And Richard, do you have anything to comment on those statements?
I mean, I feel like I have been listening. We've been doing our dinner time talks, and I thought I was listening, but apparently not everyone thinks I am.
Well, when I say I want to go out with my friends, he ignores me sometimes or he says no. So when you say no, I'm guessing you're not listening. You just, I think like you already made up your mind, even if I say something. So that's
Well,
what I mean by that.
So that's just because I don't think you need to be out late with your friends.
So there's just no point in me talking to him if you're not going to even consider.
I think it's just a rule of the house. And that's what, you live in someone else's house, then there's gonna be rules.
Right. But I'm not you, and I have things I want to do, so why can't I do them?
I think you can, but I think that we just set a curfew because that's just part of growing up, is having a curfew and being held to it.
Well, I disagree.
Well, has this curfew been in effect more recently, or has it been in effect
It's
for a
always been
while?
like that. And I thought that because I'm growing up that he would loosen up and I guess give me more privileges. He obviously hasn't done that, so.
Well, sometimes instead of even there being a curfew, he just isn't allowed to go anywhere at all. Like, he asks the question, hey, can I go here? And the answer is just automatically no, and Richard doesn't even say, be back by the curfew. He just says, no, you can't go do that. No. Without really listening to where he's going, why he wants to go, who's going to be there. He just is like, no. I think it's a bit of a power thing.
Well, Richard, what I hear Cheryl saying is it's a power struggle for you. Do you agree with that statement?
I had never thought of it in that way before. But I think being the father of the household, I should have some power. So maybe that is me demonstrating my power, but shouldn't I have some power?
Shouldn't we have some too?
I think that you do, but you're telling me that you don't think that you do.
Because I don't. So, I mean, in what ways do you think I have power?
I don't always say no, and you have goals that you've set, like you want to go into the Air Force, and we support that. I support that.
You won't really have a choice once I turn 18.
Yeah, but we're going to sign the papers to say that you can do it when you're 17.
Well, I think this is really great that you guys are talking about this, because I see a lot of frustration in your faces and in your tone. Is there a way that everybody can kind of come to a compromise as far as Dwayne's curfew is concerned?
I think everyone in the family is willing to meet in the middle, except my dad, so that's where you should start.
If it will improve the general morale of the family, I'm willing to talk about it.
Well, he says that now, but then when we get home, it's not going to be like that.
I think that's negative of you.
All right, well,
I'm just
well, we haven't really